Hi, this is Buffy Hamilton, your media specialist, and welcome to our virtual faculty orientation. We're going to begin with just some basic information about the Media Center and our program. Our mission this year is to support the Chattahoochee community and curriculum by providing many kinds of learning opportunities for students and instructional design support for teachers. This type of work from the Media Center may be a little bit different than what some of you are accustomed to, but we really want to elevate our role in teaching and learning here at Chattahoochee so that we can help everyone be successful. Our big picture target, as I alluded to, is to elevate our role in facilitating learning and teaching, but we also want to elevate our physical space as a learning-centered place here in our Chattahoochee community. There are two of us on staff, me, Buffy Hamilton, and the wonderful and amazing Carol Olson, who is our Media Center assistant. Both of us are happy to answer your questions, so please don't hesitate to ask for help if you need it. A few basics. For student visits, we ask that they sign in and out with their agenda barcode. If something has happened where they've misplaced that in an emergency, we do have a keypad where they can electronically type their number in, but we prefer the barcode. We ask that you send students with a legible pass so that we know that they're supposed to be here and can make sure that they're doing what you've sent them to do. And we ask that you send no more than 5 students at a time. So for our spaces for learning inside and outside of the Hooch Learning Studio, we have carved out some instructional space for many lessons, so I'm more than happy to do direct instruction with your students. My background is teaching high school English, so I feel very comfortable with teenagers. I'm more than happy to teach a variety of strategies and skills, so please let me know what you might need and we'll collaborate together to devise our game plan. We have our studio workrooms where students can come to work in small groups or to study quietly. We can also use those rooms for testing. So if you have students that might need testing accommodations, we're happy to let your students use those. We have student work tables. We have our computer lab that's part of the Media Center space, but we're also happy to come to your classroom and provide instruction. So again, please let me know if you need me to meet you in your room or to meet your class in a lab or some other physical space, again, to facilitate learning. So when we're thinking about collaborative partnerships and supporting instruction and learning here at Chattahoochee, there are a couple of pillars of instructional design that I like to think about when I'm talking to teachers about helping support projects or research units. Like many of you, I like the understanding by design model. And of course, backwards design begins with thinking about our learning targets. What are the outcomes? What should students be able to do and know at the end of that project or unit? How are we going to assess that learning? So what kinds of formative and summative assessments will we build into the project or unit, as well as opportunities for student self-assessment, and then of course the strategies. What will that look like to scaffold and support student learning and to make that happen? Just a sampler of things that we can support you with. Of course, reading and writing literacies in a lot of different mediums is very important. We're happy to show you some strategies that might be new on your radar to support that not only in language arts, but across all content areas for students of different varying learning abilities. So please let me know if you would like some extra support with that. I'm more than happy to assist you. We also like to do activities that really emphasize critical thinking and give students opportunities to share. So if that's something that you want to incorporate more into a unit, a project, or even just as a daily or weekly classroom learning structure, I'd love to talk to you and show you some things that I've done at my previous schools that have been successful. I think it's also important that in our library learning space that we have room for making and creating, and a lot of you are probably familiar with the maker or makerspace movement. That's an element that we want to incorporate into our library as a short-term and long-term goal, both as a way that students can come and do that independently and for fun, but also as a way of incorporating that into STEM and STEAM types of context related to your curricular standards. So if that's something that appeals to you, again, I'd love to chat and we can come up with some great ideas and activities to make that happen. As far as instructional services, there are a couple of categories, if you will, that I'm happy to provide instruction in. Of course, research and information literacy is one of our specialties. So I'm happy to do bibliographic instruction, including with the use of EasyBib Scholar, which is kind of the gold standard right now for teaching students citation skills, electronic note-taking, outlining, and really kind of integrating the research and writing processes together, so that the emphasis is on the critical thinking and learning from the information and not getting bogged down in the mechanics of citation. I'm also happy to teach search strategies for web and research databases. Also, evaluating information in the context and thinking about what determines authority and what might cause that to shift is something else that I think is really important for all students to know. So if that's something that you want to emphasize as part of the standards, please, again, let me know and I'm happy to do that. And then last but not least, how do we help students evaluate Wikipedia? We all like it and refer to it. And sometimes the content there is very good. Other times it's a bit questionable. So how do students know when to determine that Wikipedia is accurate or not? And even when the Wikipedia article is less than stellar, what other features are there that could they use that could be a great springboard to get to actual quality resources? That's something that I enjoy showing students. I'm also happy to provide instruction with content creation and digital citizenship, and that might include, but not limited to, effective presentation design principles. So if you're tired of dying by dull, boring PowerPoints, I'm more than happy to show you and your students some design and presentation strategies to liven up that aspect of classroom life. I'm happy to show you how to find and use copyright-friendly multimedia for projects and presentations. And I also enjoy showing students and teachers how to create digital content, what might be some great tools and platforms for learning and sharing our ideas and insights. Another area that I'm very comfortable in and that I know is important across all content areas is thinking about how do we grow inquiry, writing, and academic literacies. One strategy that I'm already implementing here with our art classes is something called written conversation strategies. That is a great medium for getting all students to participate in class discussions and scaffolding students' ability to interact with each other and with a large group. So again, if you're interested, check out our Media Center site. We've got some blog posts about that, and come talk to me, and I'm glad to support and facilitate that for you. I also like to use the visible thinking strategies. If you've read Making Thinking Visible, that is a great professional resource. So how do we elevate that and make that more visible aspect of classroom life? And then I'm also very interested in helping teachers think about different instructional design models that emphasize inquiry. So if any of that sounds appealing to you, again, we need to talk. Resources that we have for faculty. We have a treasure trove of great instructional resources available to us. We have our LibGuides platform, which is what we're using to create our research guides. So anytime you have a research project, or any type of project for that matter, and you need a web page to support that, let me know whether I'm working directly with you or it's something that you and your students might be doing independently. I'm glad to assemble a research guide for you and your students, and they can be simple or very complex like this one, with different pages and tabs for tutorials, student work, examples, handouts, links, anything that you can imagine, we can put it into LibGuides for you. And again, you can see it's a very clean interface and easy for students to navigate. And it's a great way to scaffold them to excellent resources for their projects. We also have our Media Center website, the Hooch Learning Studio. Hopefully you have subscribed to that so that you can get the latest updates. But this is kind of your quick one-stop shopping for primary information about all things Media Center. We also have our Destiny Card catalog lookup, which you can get to from the Hooch Learning Studio page, and this is how you can search for books and videos. If you'd like some assistance doing that, again, come and see me or be on the lookout for our new tutorial video series that's coming soon. We also have access to a District Overdrive ebook library. So if you've used Overdrive ebooks with your public library, this is the same thing. But you have access to professional books, fiction, and nonfiction in this collection. Again, you would just sign in with your school computer login. Same thing for Safari Montage, which is a terrific digital multimedia platform. We'll be offering, again, some virtual and face-to-face instruction and workshops on how to utilize this tool in your classroom. But streaming video is essentially what we have with Safari Montage. We also have a growing ebook collection through Mac and VIA. Students can also access the databases through Mac and VIA. So this is a digital portal that helps students easily access that content. And again, the login is the same as your Windows login here at school, as well as the password. We have a variety of equipment and AV for circulation, including different types of projectors, cables, presentation clickers, different multimedia players. We have a few televisions on carts. We also have AV carts if you need that, as well as some cameras. And then there are laptop carts that you can sign up for through the school Outlook calendar if you need to use those. We also have low-tech resources, but that are still essential to classrooms. So we have a great die-cut library, as well as several die-cut machines. We have bulletin board paper and construction paper. In closing, trying to look ahead, where is our media center going, and how are we going to evolve to meet the needs of learners and teachers here at Chattahoochee, both in the not so distant future and for the long term. When we're thinking about what this space can be, with or without renovation monies that are on the horizon, I like to think about design drivers for the kinds of learning that we want to see happening here. So learning that's playful, that's shared and collaborative, that has room for performance or sharing. We want this to be a space where there are opportunities for reflective learning and that honors multiple literacies and multiple styles of learning, and a space that's question-centric, where the questions are valued as much, if not more, than the range of answers. When we think about those design elements and the kinds of things we'll need, we're looking to get grants to purchase writable surfaces, so different tables and mobile dry erase boards. We need sturdy, contemporary, mobile, functional furniture so that we can repurpose the space and be nimble when we need to reconfigure the space for a learning activity. We're looking at revamping and possibly removing some shelving. And again, trying to carve out more spaces for teaching and learning as opposed to just passive consumption of content, but still keeping some of those quiet study spaces available for students. We also want the Media Center to be a little bit more reflective of student-created content, so we're partnering with the art department to try and make that happen in the next few months. And again, here's just a glimpse of the possibilities of some of the items that are on our wish list and that we're working hard to secure grant money for. And again, just to give students opportunities to be active learners. Other action steps that we have, when we kind of break this into three big pieces, we definitely have some additional collection weeding to do to continue the ongoing effort to bring our collection up to date and to be more strategic to meet the needs of today's students, both in print and in digital format. Again, engaging in design thinking as we embark on the renovation process, and to hopefully have input on what our space will look like. And most importantly, working with all of you to build instructional collaborative partnerships, because the library cannot exist in a vacuum. We very much want to be an integral part of the learning community here and to support you and your students, as well as be a space where we can co-pilot ideas and be a place where you can take risk as teachers and try new ideas and have support for that here. Thank you so much for your kind attention. If you have questions or need more information or are interested in collaborating or brainstorming at any time, please drop me an email or come by the Media Center and I will be delighted to work with you. Thank you again.